What makes you rank on the first page for Etsy? Okay, so it's not SEO, it's these three things right here. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how you do it and how you get to the first page and how you make millions of dollars. Okay, so let's get straight into things. The first thing I want to talk about is CTR, okay? This acronym means click-through rate. So let me quickly explain what this is and then you'll understand why it's so incredibly important. So, on Etsy, this is often referred to as click rate or CR, okay? But the real term is CTR, click-through rate. So this means the amount of impressions, so the amount of people that see your listing on the homepage, on the category page, or wherever, and actually click it, okay? So if you have a 3%, let's say you have a 3% CTR, that means 3% of people that see your thumbnail image and that image that you have right there, okay, the first image on your Etsy listing, and actually click through it. If there 100 people see it and 3 people click on it, that means you have a 3% CTR. A very important thing with actually ranking on Etsy is this thing right here, CTR. People, like, Etsy wants people to have a good experience on the platform and they want people to click on these images. So if your image and let's say your product is really interesting and it looks really unique and it stands out and it's a good high quality image, it shows the item and your SEO, like your title, your tags and your description matches what the item is, so you're getting placed in the right search terms, then this number is going to be high. And the aim is to get this number as high as possible because the higher your number is, the more people that are actually interested in your particular item. Therefore, people have a better experience on the Etsy platform. That's the easiest way to kind of explain it, right? So, the way you make this number as high as humanly possible is listing the correct products, okay? Listing the correct products. List products that people actually want to purchase. List products that are similar to items that are already working well on the Etsy platform, okay? You also want to list things that are a little bit unique, a little bit interesting, something that someone hasn't seen 10 million times. You don't want to be listing the exact same product that is already on Etsy on 25 different shops. No one's going to click on your listing because other people already have it. And we're going to explain why it doesn't work just doing that in a second because momentum matters a lot, okay? But CTR matters, okay? The main thing, if you are selling something that is already kind of similar to other stuff on the Etsy platform, is your pictures, okay? Your pictures are very, 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 very important. And by your pictures, I mean that first picture on your listing, because that is the thumbnail. So that is just like this video had a thumbnail that made you click on this video. It's exactly the same thing. You want to do an image that entices people, creates intrigue, and is accurate to what the actual item is, okay? So, we want to get the CTR as high as possible. This is step 1 to actually ranking on the first page on Etsy. This is very, 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 very important because if you don't get any clicks on your item, you can't make any money. So if you have an intriguing and interesting pictures and you have a unique item that is actually people actually want to buy it, this number will be high, okay? And if this number's high, you're halfway there already. So, the next bit is RPC. So this means revenue per click. Normally it's not used in this sense, but I'm going to explain exactly what this means because often these acronyms, RPC, CTR, are a little bit confusing. And essentially, what I mean by this is how much are people spending per visit that they actually come to? Let's say, okay. Let's say you've got 1,000 people have viewed your item, okay? 1,000 people. So that is the amount of people that have seen your item, let's say when they've typed in kitten t-shirt. Okay, you're selling a kitten t-shirt with a kitten on it. 1,000 people have seen your kitten t-shirt when they typed in kitten t-shirt. Let's say 5% of people have actually gone through and clicked on your item. 5% CTR rate, okay? So then we go from 1,000 impressions to 50 visitors to your listing. So 1,000 impressions and then 50 visits. So this is also known as clicks on the Etsy platform, where someone has actually clicked on your listing, gone to take a further little look into your description, the other photos, things like this. And when people are at this point right here, you then want to get them to purchase, but you want them to spend as much money as humanly possible. This is what this means, okay? So per 50 clicks, let's say out of 50 clicks, let's just keep it easy. You have a 10% conversion rate. Conversion rate means the amount of people that have visited your website to purchased it as a percentage, okay? So if you have a 20% conversion rate, that means 10 people will have actually purchased. Let's just keep it easy, 10 people. So if you're selling this t-shirt for $10 and you've sold 10 of them, it means you've done obviously $100 in revenue. So if you've done $100 in revenue, that means that you've got $2 per click per visit to your listing, okay? So for this scenario, that's actually really good. It's gonna be very different for everyone's stores, okay? If you're selling a jewelry, it's just an average difference to someone selling a table or a chair or things like this, right? So essentially, the aim with this is we want to increase the amount that people are spending per visit on our listing. There's a few different ways to do this, okay? So there's certain things such as pricing. Maybe you can just increase the price of your item. You can do upsells. Maybe you can try and bundle your thing, and you can do a bunch of different things for this, okay? But the reason why this number matters, this thing matters right here, revenue per click, is because Etsy wants to make the most money possible. That's the only reason. Etsy knows that the average Etsy user is only going to be on the website for 30 minutes, let's say. They're only going to be on the website for 30 minutes before they get bored and leave. So they want to show them the best products, the products that have the highest CTR, the higher the amount of people that are clicking on your product, the better that product is for the platform, the more interesting it is for the platform and for the people on the platform. And then once they're clicked, Etsy wants to make money. So Etsy wants to show people the products that have the highest revenue per click. Let's say you're selling a kitten t-shirt for $10. It's kind of too cheap. People aren't really buying that much, you know? You get a lot of clicks, but not that many purchases. If I'm selling a kitten t-shirt for $12, maybe people think, oh, this one's gonna be a bit higher quality. Maybe my description, I've got faster shipping, so people are happier to pay that $12 than that $10. And I get more orders than you, okay? In that situation, I am always going to be ranked higher than you with like the ranking system because I make Etsy more money. It's the same thing with CTR right here. If you are selling a kitten t-shirt and your pictures are really shit, no one clicks on it, and I'm selling a kitten t-shirt, but the pictures are incredible, I'm gonna get more clicks than you, and Etsy values my listing more because it adds more to the platform. More people are likely to click on my item, and also I've got a higher revenue per click, so more people are likely to spend more money when they click on my listing than your listing. So essentially, if you just create a listing where people are super likely to click on it versus your competitor, and you do better, you create a better product, you create better pictures than your competitors, and you also do better pricing where people feel more comfortable to purchase. Maybe you try paid shipping rather than doing free shipping. Maybe you sell at a higher price. Maybe you sell at a lower price. Maybe in the description you add every single frequently asked question as humanly possible. Then more people are likely to purchase from my listing than your listing. And it's really that simple, okay? We'll talk about momentum as well in a second because that is also important. It's not just as simple as this. But the way to think about it is you are just like, you're working almost for Etsy. Etsy wants people to come onto their platform and see great products that have great pictures, and they want people to click on their items, and then they want to make the most money per person that comes onto their website. So if I'm able to make Etsy $10 a click, and my direct competitor for kitten t-shirts can only make Etsy $7 per click, I am going to rank the highest on that page. It's really that simple. There is one other thing to bear in mind here, and momentum. So, what this means is that with the Etsy system, the way the algorithm works is once a store is off and rolling, and once you get sales, once you get reviews, it is harder to compete with a particular store. Like, it's harder to compete with you once you've got 2,000 orders and 200 reviews, right? It's harder. You've got a bit of momentum going. You've got the ball rolling, okay? You've got snowball effect is what I like to call it. So when you're doing this, when you're thinking about this, it's not always going to work instantly, okay? Especially if you're competing against a large store. One, because they've already done this well and they've already done this bit well, but also they've got that momentum off and rolling. So that doesn't mean you can't compete. It just means you have to bear in mind where there are huge big stores controlling particular search terms and where there are a bunch of small stores and no one's really put effort in. You need to find a product and a niche where people aren't really doing this the best and they aren't really doing this the best. If you think about jewelry, most people on Etsy know Caitlin Minimalist. They do CTR amazing. Their pictures are incredible. And they also sell at a very good price, and they have a lot of trust, they have a lot of reviews. So it's very hard to actually compete with them because they've done this really well, and they've done this really well. And they've got a ton of momentum. They just hit over 3 million orders to date on Etsy. But focusing on maybe gothic jewelry, where all the sellers are a bit amateur, they're not thinking about this, and they're not thinking so much about this, they're just happy they're making $10 a day. That is the best niche to get into, and that is the best thing to focus on. And with the way Etsy works, once you do this, and once you do this well, and once you do this well, and once you look to always increase and try and make more and more money, then you're going to reach that momentum point where it's hard for competitors to come in and do something slightly better to take you down. If you want a complete step-by-step guide on exactly how I do Etsy dropshipping, click this video right here or click the top link in the description. I'll see you over there.